Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today what I'm going to be doing is replacing the valve cover gasket on this mower. It finally came in the mail. So it's just a cork, got two of them off eBay, cork seals. I think it was like $12, it wasn't that bad. So I'm going to be replacing these. This should be roughly probably a 10 to 15 minute video. But first thing, before I do any of that, I've got to address the tire in the front. It's a brand new tire, but it continuously goes flat on me. So today we're going to be putting some slime in it. We're going to be replacing the valve cover stem. Picked up all this stuff at Walmart for, I think it was $15. I'm going to get started on this. I'm inviting you to join me on this little journey. So we're going to slime this tire and then we're going to get going on the valve cover. So the first thing that you want to do on something like this is we need to pull the valve stem out. So I'm just going to open this kit up. Take your valve cover cap off. Just set it aside so you don't lose it. There's going to be a little, like a split section right there. You're just going to insert that and we're going to back out the old valve stem. Looks like it's got a little bit of stuff on it. Now, looking at the instructions for the slime, it says for a lawnmower tire, it says to put 8 ounces of slime. So that's half a bottle. This is a 16-ounce bottle. We're going to put half of this bottle in that one tire. Putting the straw on here. And then what you'll do is you just take the slime right on the valve stem and we're going to push half the bottle in. That's probably good. Just going to take my air hose, put it right on the tire. And just clear the threads out. And I was just noticing that I probably didn't even need to buy the stem removal tool because it comes with one right on the end. I don't know if you can see that. It has one on it. Grab a new valve stem, put it right there in the threads. We're going to pump this tire back up. £10. And we should be good to go. Shouldn't leak now. All right, let's get started on the valve cover gasket. All right, the first thing I want to do is we're going to remove the shroud from this mower. Now, these shrouds normally just lift off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take the lights out of this mower and just set them on top. Like I did on the previous video, let's go ahead and pull the ignition key out. And then the shroud should just lift right up. Up and off. And this will give us easy access to the valve cover. Looking down at it, I'd be willing to bet that this is 10 millimeter. I'm going to go get a 10 millimeter socket in my ratchet and we're going to remove this. We might have to take this cowl off also because the plastic comes all the way down. I'll take this cowl off and then I'll get to this. All right, the first thing I need to do is remove this cowl. And you're going to need an 8 millimeter socket for that. 4 screws. All right, I've got a replacement battery. All right, back with a new battery. And I'm just going to continue to remove it. You're going to need to pull the dipstick. Just set it out of the way. And then you can lift the cowl off. Then you're going to put the dipstick right back in. Now that I've got that loose, I can concentrate a little bit more on this. Okay, here's where we're going to need our 10 millimeter. Let's just break them just with a hand, just so we don't strip a screw out or anything. You're going to pull that little hose loose. And there's one on the bottom. All right. It's definitely leaking right around here. Now this is stamped metal. So what we don't want to do is we do not want to bend this cover, because then it will not get a seal. If it doesn't come off easily, then you need to kind of just wiggle it, but I think it's just going to pop off on this one. It's kind of a tight fit. So we got an external one. Oh yeah, and you can definitely see where it's leaking here. Lock in. You can actually see oil down on the bottom right there. It was definitely leaking. Let's pull off this bottom one. There it goes. Ooh, yeah. Okay, let me get my B camera out and I'll show you exactly where it was leaking. All right, here's the B camera. You can see right here, that's where we were leaking at, and of course it was just dripping directly down on that muffler, causing all the smoke that you saw in the video. So we're gonna pull this old gasket off, and I've got those brand new ones, and we're gonna put them on, freshen this up, and that should take care of all of the smoke problems that we have with this mower. I'm gonna go ahead and put a paper towel right here, because I don't really want to get any more oil than I have to on that muffler. And then I'm simply just going to take and peel off this old gasket material, which is cork. There's the old gasket. Set it aside, and I'll show you exactly where it was leaking. It was leaking in this area right here. Gasket was not holding anything on. All right, what we're going to do now is get a 3M Scotch Brite pad, and I'm going to scrub that surface to make sure that we have a really good contact on that area. You just want it to look like fresh aluminum. Go ahead and get this excess oil out right here. Now be careful when you're doing this, because these edges are a little sharp. And I'm going to pay special attention to the spot where it failed. Now these just fail because of age. That cork will get real brittle, and there's not really anything you can do to prevent it. It just happens with time. So this is what it should look like when it's all cleaned up. You can take your Scotch Brite pad on this too. Just kind of clean it up in there. I'm going to take an air hose on this, and if you get any little bit of dirt in here, you'll want to try to clean it out. Just slide the new gasket into place. And then on the valve cover itself, I'm going to go ahead and clean all these points in here where it has, you don't want it interfering or getting underneath your new gasket. So just take an air hose and we'll give it a quick little blowout. I am on resources.kohler.com, and we've got all our torque specifications for this mower right here. And I'm going to look right down here. I just saw it. Valve cover. It's right here. And it says 11 Newton meter or 95 inch-pounds into a new hole. These aren't new holes. So here's 7.5 Newton meter or 65 inch-pounds into a used hole. So it's kind of important, since we're using a cork seal, that it's torqued to the right spec or you're going to crush the cork. So I'm going to set my wrench to 65 inch-pounds and pray that nothing strips out. Go ahead and lock her in, take that 10 millimeter, and we're going to go ahead and torque this down. Just wonder if that's supposed to be pressed in there anyway. It just came out. With the new gasket in place, we're going to start lining up these holes one at a time. I'm not going to really tighten these down until I get everything lined up. These look to be self-cutting or self-tapping screws. So you'll want to be very careful that you don't cross-thread these holes. There wasn't a pattern on how we should torque this, so I'm just going to work my way around. This one doesn't ratchet on my torque wrench, so I'm going to snug them down, and then we will go around one more time. That's it. That valve cover is now on. I'm going to wipe off any remaining oil, but that should take care of our smoking problem. I'm going to put this tube, the breather tube, back in, and then I'm going to put the shroud back on, and we'll start it up, test it out, and see how it does. So when you're tightening these screws, you don't want to start right out with one of these. You want to just drop them in the spots where they go. And then you want to spin it backwards, and you'll feel it drop into this place, or the threads. There it goes. It'll make a little click sound. And then you can start it. Let's see if I can get close enough so you can hear it. There it goes. And by doing this, you won't strip out that aluminum. Because a lot of times they're using these self-tap screws, and it can just be a nightmare if they rust in. And I'm just going to snug this down. Oh, wrong way. Now we're going to put the cowl back on. You want to make sure this model, where the lights are ran, it's very close to where the muffler comes through. And you want to be careful that it's not touching the muffler. It's happened to this one before, and I will show you what happens when that happens, and that's why I had to take the light bulbs out, is because it melted the connector together. No longer able to pull it apart. Okay, here's the connector. You can see where it's touched the muffler before. With the shroud down, that needs to be away from the muffler. And you can see the routing on the wire. It goes around this bracket, and that way it doesn't touch. Let's start it up, and let's let it run for a second. Well, it's been around 10 minutes. No signs of leaks, so I think we can say that this job's completed. Well, only time will tell now. Well, anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it helps you out and hopefully saves you some money.